and we are live from the great state of Wisconsin. This is the Overdue Sports NFL Look Ahead Week 7. I am your host, Will. To my right, as always, Jake. We are looking at the NFL schedule for Week 7, and I know we're a day late. We can recap Thursday's game real quick before we jump in. I know you bet the Saints. I was nearly about to bet the Saints, and I'm really happy I did not.
No,
it was just never close.
Yeah, I bet the Saints money line and spread, and that Spencer Rattler, big bad, like big bad with 3 B's, like you spell bad, B. He's dog shit. He's also really slow. Did you watch any of that game? Dude,
no,
he's
I had
slow.
no interest in watching that game.
Like, he had one really good scramble. I think it was in like the second quarter. It was like a 3rd and 8, and he stepped up, made like a pretty nice juke move, and then he ran down sideline for like 30 yards. Except I think I could have ran the 30 yards just as fast, dude. He's slow as fuck. But like, to be fair to him, like, that team's offensive line is really beat up. And Bo Nix looked drunk for like first third of the game. But like, that was so bizarre. But then, like, Bo Nix woke up, Spencer Rattler didn't. The wide receiver play was horrible. Like, I could have made some catches. Like, Tyrann Mathieu had that drop pick at the end of the first half. It's like, it was like watching JV football at times. It was very strange. But yeah, one thing was certain though, is never the Saints. But Cedric Wilson Jr., my man, bailed me out. Anytime touchdown, plus 500. So I made 3 in the game. Yeah, I got so lucky. I'm so bad at props. Like, I should post the props just so you guys can fade them. Lay the juice, like, you're fine. Oh, Jake bet a plus 400 touchdown score. No is minus 700. It's free. Just do it. It's like 401k max play it. Like, I can't hit props. I'm so bad at props for no reason either. Yeah, and like the props are like, that's a type of bet where like I don't always do them myself just because like I don't take the time to look into like, you know, where guys are normally priced at versus what they're priced at this week. Or like the catches and the yards are easy enough. Like if you had a guy that had 100 yards the week before and this week it's like 30, like that's pretty telling, right? But the touchdowns are kind of like luck based anyways. Like I think I've hit one anytime, or like first touchdown score ever. I've had a lot of seconds when I bet the first, but I am so bad at props and NFL props. Like I can do the hitter props in baseball. Like I kind of get into a groove with hitting like guys that hit home runs. But dude, so bad at NFL props. But that I needed that. Like I needed oxygen right now, or it's in my mouth. Need it.
Let's jump right into Sunday's action. We're gonna start in London again with the old Jacksonville Jaguars coming off of a 19-point loss against the Bears, and we have the Patriots coming off of a 20-point loss against the Texans. The Jags are laying 6 in London. I will not be betting this game, but I'm inclined to take the Jags here yet again.
Dude, like sorry, don't mind me typing in the background. I'm trying to get our college football look ahead uploaded to the YouTubes. Like and subscribe, please. That way Will and I can do other things on our Friday night. But I bet on the Jags and the Patriots probably every week this season, and I think I've gotten like 3 of them right. Like, I'm serious. I hate these 2 teams. I hate them. And I'm probably going to bet the game because I'm stupid. But I think we have a good indicator. If Ramondre Stevenson plays, take the Jags. I think that's my game plan. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to forget the past. I'm going to not look at the splits because the splits say that everyone's betting the Patriots, which is totally fair. But why are the Jags 6-point favorites at a site that they never win at? Like, have the Jags ever won a game in a different country. They
But they get
played
to
the
stay
most
there all
games in a
week.
different country. Yeah. No, one of my buddies last night was like, they should just do like a London bit where every team has to play in London, but you don't get to come home until you win. So say the Jags and the Patriots played week 1. The Jags would never leave. They would be stuck there. They'd be having tea and crumpets. Like, they would just be the London Jaguars.
That's kind of what
How
they
are they
are.
6-point favorite? How are they 6-point favorites?
I
It
don't know.
makes no sense.
And you
So,
know, Trevor Lawrence has been dog shit this year.
dog shit.
He was not that bad last week though. He was actually
I
kind of decent
was
last week. He threw for like 240 and 2 touchdowns. He was not as bad last week. Like of his efforts this season, last week was probably the best effort he's put together
yeah,
so far.
well, minus the game they won, probably.
But he wasn't good in that game. They just won.
I don't know. I didn't watch this crappy game.
I
Who
have him
wants to
in
watch the
fantasy,
Jags
so
at 8 o'clock? Oh, okay, that makes
I have him
sense.
in fantasy, so I'm very in
Uh,
tune to what he does, and he's very frustrating.
oh, I'm gonna have a stroke. I hate these teams so much. But that's my game plan. I'm going with that.
Actually, I don't
If
hate
Ramondre
that.
Steven, if Ramondre Stevenson is in, because he's by far their best player, right? Like,
Yeah.
can we agree on
Yeah.
that?
Although
Minus
with
like
Drake May, that makes this line even weirder
well,
because Drake May actually looked pretty sharp last week in his limited
yeah,
drives.
like they lost by 20, but they also scored 21, which was probably about what they've scored the last 2 weeks. Well,
Like this game should be like
this
3. Should be like this game should be a pick.
well, yeah, look who they're playing, where they're playing it. It should be
That's
a
what
pick
I
'em.
mean.
It shouldn't even be listed. But yes, I agree with you. I think that number is very large. So that's what I'm gonna do. Like I like being contrarian in like the standalone games because a lot of the time it works. But the Jags were in that same spot last week against the Bears. Like the Bears have been like a public darling so far. They're 4-2, and they've covered every game they've won, I believe. I just can't keep betting on the Jags. Like at least when you bet on the Patriots and they suck, at least they hang around long enough to keep you like vested in the game. Like I bet him +9 against the 49ers, and like that one wasn't a sure loss until the fourth quarter. The Jags were winning 3-0, and then at halftime they were not. And it was like by 15. It's like if they're down, they don't come back. So it's like I can't do it anymore. But I'm probably gonna because I'm sick
Speaking
in the head.
speaking of another team that I have been trying to
Yes,
fade
this is
all
another team. Oh
season.
my god.
We got the Seahawks and Falcons. The Falcons are laying 3. The Seahawks are coming off of a 12-point loss against the Niners. And the Falcons, did we decide that they had off last week? They had a bye week last week.
No, they
Yeah.
played the Panthers.
Or they played the Panthers, yeah, and they beat the Panthers
The
handily.
Falcons did. The
The
Dolphins
Falcons,
didn't. The
yes.
Dolphins. Yeah, I don't know.
The
You can
Dolphins had,
tell I'm not betting
yeah.
NFL well right
And
now.
I have faded the Falcons, I think, each of the last 3 weeks, and they keep having a final last drive where I get hooked. And I will be doing it again this week. I probably will be betting the Seahawks here again. The Falcons have been a covering machine on final drives for whatever reason that is. So I think I'm going
That's
to take
the
some
one team
Seahawks
that's
here.
yeah. That's kind of the one team that's been really good for me, the Falcons, because I fade them in the right spots. I bet them in the right spots. I did like a little Hail Mary parlay, and I bet the Panthers and the under, but I got the Detroit game, so that was 2 of 4. So I didn't really count that one. But I think it's the Dolphins, but like they're kind of in the
Seahawks.
same boat as the Jags.
Not the Dolphins, Seahawks.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of order. I wrote down Miami, Indianapolis first.
Oh,
Okay, but
no. We're on
oh
Seahawks.
yeah, okay, that one's out of order. Okay, that's my fault. But yeah, the Seahawks. It's like they're not as bad, but like I feel like they perform against the spread just as poorly too. Because like they had that weird game against the Giants. They got thumped on Thursday Night Football. Who'd they play? Not really thumped, but who'd they play on Thursday Night Football? a couple weeks ago.
The Niners handled them. I mean, that game was really never close.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know about them. They're frisky. My whole analysis is all thrown off now, but Seattle's pretty frisky, I think, but not good. You know what I mean? It's for me, it's like Kenneth Walker's kind of their thing with the team, right? Like when he goes, they go. Um, they got to do well at field position too. Their special teams is so bad. Like, am I wrong? Like, I feel like besides maybe the Packers, they might have the worst special teams in the league.
They could, yeah. They've got MVP Geno this year, though.
He's so bad. Fuck him.
He's been lighting it up for whatever reason, whatever.
Yeah, he's still not good though. But I do like him here. I do like them here. Maybe like this, maybe like you said though, like the Falcons just seem to find a way to do it. Maybe this
They
is like
do
a
every
Seattle
single week.
first half spot.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
Could I sell you on that?
You could actually sell me on that.
You shouldn't buy water for me if you were on fire. Because
That's it.
NFL
Seahawks
is not
first
my
half money
friend right
line.
now. Yeah, let's not waste any more time on this game.
We got Titans Bills. The Bills are laying 9.5
You
after a
were way
3-point
out of
win.
order.
I wrote them down. What do you mean I'm out of order?
I went off of Action Network and
Oh, I went off of scores.
Seattle. Oh, okay, Seattle, Atlanta is third on my list, and then Tennessee and Buffalo is like ninth.
All
All right, I'll just have to like listen to what you say instead of just what's next. Yeah,
we got the
we're
Bills
here.
Coming off of a 3-point win against my Jets. No surprises there. And the Titans are coming off a 3-point loss against the Colts. The Bills are laying 9.5. And we talked about this one pre-show because that number is huge. But the Bills just got Amari Cooper. I think everyone's going to be incredibly high on this offense. This feels like a good sell spot. Titans in the points. If this climbs up to 10, I think I'll definitely be taking it.
Yeah, I would agree. The only thing that is a bit of a conviction or like a telling thing for me is this line was pretty big initially. Like it's 7-9 right now, or 7.5, 9.5. But I think your analysis of what people are going to do is spot on. Because I mean, Amari Cooper is like probably the best person that they could have traded for. There's no diva about him. Like the guy might say his name like that. Like he might literally only know how to say Amari Cooper and football and touchdown. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing prima donna about him. And I feel like that's what the Bills need, right? Like they just got rid of Stephon Diggs, who was the complete opposite. He was constantly in the spotlight for saying things that, not great for the locker room, right? I feel like he's like exactly what they need. And he's like a number one wide receiver. Oh, Bills must be good, right? So I like your reasoning there. The same thing with the Jets too, but we'll get to that in a minute. But the only thing that's making me think twice is it's like the number is big. Like 10
It's
is a
huge.
big number in an NFL.
That's a really big number in the NFL. Next one up, we got the Bengals and the Browns. The Bengals are coming off of a 10-point win against the Giants. The Browns a 4-point loss against the Eagles. The Bengals are laying 6 in Cleveland. This game makes absolutely zero sense to me. You're coming off of a week where the Bengals were just laying 3 points against the Giants, and now they're laying 6 against Cleveland. I mean, I'm inclined to take the Bengals just because I don't think that line is right, and I just think it's telling, but I don't know what to make of this game. I don't think the Bengals are very good this year. The Browns are horrendous. I really have no idea what to make. I think Jameis is starting at quarterback this week. I don't know what to make of this game.
Yeah,
I'm going to say Cincinnati just because of the number, but I have no conviction in it.
I think part of the reason that's so high now is the Cooper trade got baked into that, which is kind of facetious because like I felt like he wasn't exactly all that productive up to this point through no fault of his own, but I kind of like the Browns. I kind of want to throw up now.
I mean, they're literally just taking the same. I didn't even think about it on the flip side of Amari. I mean, their number one receiver now is Jerry Jeudy. It's Jerry Jeudy and David Njoku and Jameis Winston.
Yeah, but like Jameis Winston is probably an upgrade for the offense, truthfully. But I mean,
I agree.
I feel bad for that team because like they're kind of in a tough spot. Like Kevin Stefanski wasn't the guy who decided to give Deshaun Watson what $300 million or $200 million, whatever it was.
Enormous
Ownership's
contract.
got to be like, you have to play this guy because if it was
they do.
anybody else, he wouldn't be playing. Like he's been
No.
awful for like the better part of 2 years. When he's played, like he's been awful. I know he had that shoulder surgery a couple years ago, and like I'm sure he had another shoulder surgery. That's been his problem, right? But like even when he's been healthy, he hasn't been very good. It seems just like ever since that little scandal, I shouldn't say little, but ever since that scandal came out, he has not been the same person. And they pay him all that money. The owners are probably like, we're paying this guy a lot of money. You have to play him, Kevin. And he's probably like, what the fuck? I hate my life. You know what I mean? Like, if that's anybody else, he's benched. He's cut.
I agree. I do not disagree with that at all.
Yeah, he's been so bad for too long now. So if they are playing Jameis, if that's actually the verdict, good on them, because everyone loves Jameis, especially
That's true.
Especially Jameis. And even when Derek Carr was hurt last year, at times like Jameis stepped in and it wasn't a problem. Like I think Jameis is better than a backup, but like not good enough to be a full-time starter, if that makes sense.
I agree with that. It's
It's
a very good place
like
to put him.
right in the middle. Like
Yeah.
he's just a little too sloppy with the ball to kind of be your trusted go-to starter all the time, but like he's definitely the highest ceiling backup, I'd say, aside from like maybe Joe Flacco. It's just that guy won't age. You know what I mean? But it's like they're in a really tough spot, and I kind of like them. I feel like this is worse, like the worst it's gonna get for them up to this point.
Yeah.
Like they're rock bottom. If this was the last day of the season, this would have been the worst event they could probably have had. So I kind of like them, but
yeah, I don't hate that. Next up, we got Texans, Packers, respectively. They stomped some really bad teams last week. Packers handled the Cardinals, and the Texans handled the Patriots. They're heading into Green Bay, where the Packers are laying 3 points. I think I'm going to go back to the Packers on this one.
Yeah, I like them too. They put a lot of things together, like the special teams is still a little suspect. Like
the kicker's terrible.
Fix that though. They cut him, or they signed.
They?
They signed Brandon McManus. Is that his name? Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon. I think it's Brandon McManus. Yeah, but they signed him this week. So I mean, much better football player than human being, but we're paying him to be a football player, not a human being. Yeah, the Cardinals suck, so it's kind of hard to take anything away from that. But they took care of the ball. They scored points, finished drives.
They spread the ball out really well last week. They spread the ball to everybody. Watson scored, Dobbs scored, and Reed scored. It's awesome.
They typically do. Like I feel like Jordan Love does have a good sense of finding the guy who's open. Like some guys will have big weeks, but I feel like it's not like a force feeding one guy in that offense, which is a good thing. Because look at some of the teams that are having issues on offense now, and look at their most productive player. It's so lopsided in production, and that's part of the problem. Like the Saints. I know Olave was out last night, and he don't really have a ton of wide receiver depth, meaningful wide receiver depth, but Alvin Kamara rushed the ball 7 times for 10 yards. He's the number 1 running back in fantasy football. So the production's there, but the team suffers when you have to force feed it for success. Green Bay doesn't do that. Again, it was the Cardinals, but Texans took care of business in New England. They've been playing good ball too. I think this is is this a noon game?
Yeah.
Technically?
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is probably going to be the best noon game.
I agree with that.
Because Detroit, Minnesota is 325, right? 'Cause that's when
No, they're at
games
noon
are.
too, but that'll be a really good game.
Okay, well, that's like 1 and 2. Like those are going to be really good games. So I'm excited
Yeah,
for this one. I don't even know if I said I like the Packers too.
yeah,
I think they keep it rolling. Like they made some good strides there last
yeah,
week.
definitely. Next might be the worst game on the slate. The Miami Dolphins are heading to Indianapolis, where the Colts are laying 3. I will not bet this game. I will not bet this game. I refuse to take the Dolphins again. I will not touch it. I'm inclined to
Touch the
take the
side
Colts
though.
here because Miami is that bad.
Yeah. Another usage thing too, except it's a little different because like they're trying to address it anyways. Like that Thursday night game against the Bills where Chain had like 300 targets and carries. They scored 10 points, but they're spreading the ball out a little better and they still can't score. So I don't know. They're bad. I'm not betting this game either, but
No.
the Dolphins is probably the the sharp person side, but the Colts will probably win by 10.
Yep. Next one, we got Lions, Vikings. The Vikings are laying 1.5 in Minnesota. I believe you said this line opened at Lions being a favorite.
That's what I saw. I mean, I typically just look at Action Network because it's all there in a format I like,
Yeah.
but I feel like if you look other places, you'll get different things too. Like if you were to look directly on a sports book, that would probably be more helpful just because like the Action Network's like a consensus line or, like an average of all of them or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's what I saw. It was like -3.5 Detroit. Now it's
Interesting.
+1.5 Minnesota.
I don't know what to make of that. I haven't seen that anywhere outside of Action, so I have no idea. Vikings are coming off of a bye week, and the Lions just stomped the Cowboys. I I don't
Yeah,
really
it's
know what to
tough.
make of this one. This is a really hard one because I actually think this number is also pretty right with the Vikings laying 1.5 at home.
Well, now it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think what happened is, Sharp scooped up that kind of bad number.
yeah,
And NFL markets are very efficient. So, like, I could see Detroit winning this game by 2.
yeah.
Yeah, I think Detroit's going to
I
win.
think it's Detroit. Yeah,
I think Detroit's going to win, but probably not going to be by the open. It's not going to be by 4.
I would agree. Yeah,
But, yeah, I don't know. Like, these are two really good teams. And I've found that sometimes, like when they don't blow teams out, betting on the Lions is very frustrating because, like, at certain points of the game when you should do something, they don't. You know what I mean? Like going for 2 when it's the third quarter. Like, college teams like to do that. Like they'll go for 2
yeah,
on their first touchdown and then not get it, and they're just going for 2 the rest of the game. Dan Campbell's like that. And then, you're always one fake punt away from, you know, giving up the ball on your 30. So it's like they're really good, but like, they're a mistake away from having a bad beat for you. But I think this game's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be close. Like to me, it's like Lions win by 1 or 2.
yeah.
But
I would agree with that.
Minnesota seems to come through.
They're freaking good, man.
I mean,
They're really good. Next up, we got the Eagles and the Giants. The Giants are in that same home spot they've been in for like 4 straight weeks. It feels like they're catching 3.5 at home against the Eagles, who are coming off of a 4-point win against the Browns. I mean, it's a Giants line again because it's always a Giants line, but I don't
yeah,
think
I
they're
don't
going to
know
cover
why they
this.
keep getting respect. No, I think like if you were to bet the Giants, you shouldn't call the number. This is like I think a lot of people might look at last week's Eagles win and be like, "Hey, maybe they're starting to figure things out." I think they're not. Like, I think that's kind of fugazi. Like, they still have a lot of issues. I think good defense in the Browns, but like that offense should be like very capable of scoring more. Was it 16 they had? 18?
It
Yeah.
was 20-16. Yeah.
Okay, I knew there was a 16 in there somewhere. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think they're out of it yet, so, like, this I'm probably not gonna bet it either. I bet the Giants once this year, and I think that's all I'm gonna do. I bet them against the Seahawks, I said I wasn't gonna, but I finally did, and I picked right. I think I'm just gonna let this one be. But like this is a Giants line to me for sure.
Yeah, for sure. 3 o'clock slate. We've got the Raiders and Rams, where the Rams are laying 7. God, do the Raiders ever suck? I'm going to go with the Rams here. This line actually looks a little bit longer than what I thought it would be. I think it's a Rams line.
Yeah,
I would
moved
not bet
from
this game.
4.5 to 7.
Yeah.
I kind of like the Raiders at 7. Like, I think they can keep it within a touchdown. But on the flip side, it's like even like 7's a big number. You know what I mean? Like the Rams aren't.
It is.
They're
They're
not
not very
playing
good.
all
That's why
that
I think
well.
it's
They're
them.
injured. They're hurt. Like they're
Yeah.
definitely
I mean,
hurt.
Puka
But
and
like,
Cooper Cup are both out.
yeah, but then like 7's a lot. Like, and the Raiders have been competitive at points, and it's kind of seemed to slip away the last couple of weeks. Might be a time to back the Raiders. They looked like poopy against the Steelers.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know.
The Rams are coming off a bye.
Yeah, maybe like a first half. Well, isn't there some crazy stat with like? No, that's Andy Reid after the bye. I thought Sean McVay had a stat after the bye, like a trend.
He might. I'm not aware of it if he does.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably doesn't matter.
Next one, we got Panthers heading to Washington, D.C., where they're taking on the Commanders. The Commanders are laying 9. The Commanders are coming off of a 13-point loss against the Ravens, and the Panthers a 18-point loss against the Falcons. Another really big number. I refuse to back the Panthers. So, Commanders for me. I think Jane Daniels is going to light them up.
I wouldn't say I refuse to back the Panthers. Like ever since they kind of gave Bryce Young the seat, they've maybe like I wouldn't say they've covered numbers. I think they covered this like squarest one, the squarest spot they were in is when they immediately, or not immediately, the next week they went to Andy Dalton and they beat who they beat that week? Raiders? Yeah, that's not saying much, I guess. But I feel like they haven't been covering numbers, but they've still been like much improved while playing the game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
did they lose to 15? But like that wasn't a 15-point game most of the time. Like they kept it pretty close up until that second to last touchdown to No, I'm trying to remember because I was like kind of watching the game or paying attention to it. Like they were winning. I think they were tied at halftime. They might have been winning for a stretch, maybe not though. But it was inside of a touchdown most of that game. Like they actually played well for most of it. And then same thing with the Bengals. I think there was the Bengals the week before. Am I saying they're going to cover? No, but like I'm not going to say I'm afraid to back them. 9.5 is a lot though.
It's a big
They get
number.
paid too. Yeah, they get
Yeah.
paid too. Some of them shouldn't, but they do.
Final 3 o'clock game. We've got Chiefs and Niners. Chiefs coming off the bye. Niners coming off of the long week where they had played on Thursday last week against the Seahawks. The Niners are laying 1.5 at home. Give me the Niners.
I like them too. It's just the Chiefs are finding ways to do it. And I don't like fading the Chiefs when they're a dog, but I think this is a spot where you could.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Niners haven't really looked good at all. Less, week 1 against the Jets, against the Seahawks, and who's the third team they played? The Patriots. Like they handle business when they win, but when they lose, they look not good.
Really bad.
How did the Cardinals beat them?
I don't know.
I think they might start to get their feng shui back a little bit. I don't know. I just don't like fading the Chiefs when they're dogs. I'll fade them when they're favorites. They're not particularly
They're
great against
terrible
the
against the
spread as
spread. As
favorites,
favorites.
but like as dogs, not the same story. I don't know. Like this, it seems like a Niners line to me, but I'm a little hesitant to jump in.
Yeah. I agree, but I do like the Niners there. We've got one Sunday night game, 2 Monday night games. The Sunday night game is Jets Steelers. The Jets are laying 1.5 in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh coming off of a good win convincing win against the Raiders. Jets coming off 3-point loss against the Bills. The Jets just signed Devontae Adams. I will not be betting this game. I don't bet on the Jets, but I'll probably look at a total, and I'd be inclined to take the Steelers here. I think everyone is going to be super high on the Rodgers train because they got Devontae. It doesn't matter. You still have a literal elementary school child as the offensive coordinator. I don't care that it's Russell Wilson playing over Justin Fields this week. I don't understand that
I
decision,
think
but
that's a bad thing. Like, I
I think
think
so
it's a
too.
bad
It doesn't make any
thing.
sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me. But give me the
No.
Steelers. I think the Steelers get them, unfortunately.
Yeah, like Tomlin's really good as a dog too, and it's like it seems a little easy. I don't know. Like to me, it's like the whole trading narrative makes sense. Like, hey, everyone's gonna be really high on the Jets, but like, I don't know if that's a good thing. Like, I don't think Devontae Adams is gonna solve any of their problems. What's he gonna do? Run the ball
He
for
won't.
them? What's he gonna
Yep,
do?
he
Play
won't.
defense? Yeah, exactly. He's not gonna. So it's like I'm almost inclined to like overlook that piece of it, but other people won't, so that means I can't. So that's probably no side play for me. Just bet the under, like most of the primetime games are seeming to do.
Yep. Monday night, we got 2 games. Let's start with Ravens and Buccaneers. The Ravens are laying 3.5 on the road. The Bucks just beat down the Saints 51-27, and the Ravens just handled the Commanders 30-23. This is a really hard one for me. I've struggled with understanding the Bucks this year. I feel like I can never get them right. I've gotten them right in a couple of spots this year, but like I just don't think I have a real good don't have a real good feel for them. I would be inclined to take the 3.5 here over the field goal. I could see this being a 3-point game. I could also see the Ravens winning by 7. So
Yeah, I think I like the Ravens here too, but I am inclined to agree with like I'm not great at picking the right spots for the Buccaneers either. Because it seems like every spot they're in, like they should lose, but they don't. You know what I mean? Like I bet them against the Eagles after that. Did they beat the Lions this year, or was that Bucks beat the Lions,
no,
or was that last year? I thought it was like week 2.
they did. They won 20-16 in week 2.
Okay, so like, did they win week 3?
No, they lost to the Broncos 26-7. They got smacked.
Okay, that was like I think I did bet the Broncos. Like that might have been the only time like I kind of got the Bucks right. I think I bet the Bucks against the Lions, faded them against the Broncos, and then I haven't been able to time them up since.
Yeah.
They're frustrating for me too. It's just like they seem to come through a lot, and like they're not bad. Like I think Baker just needed some time to figure shit out down there. And I think, do they have a different guy calling the plays too?
I have no idea if they've changed OCs.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But Rashad White's been kind of hurt. I think that's kind of helping them because he's
I think
not a
so too.
bad player.
I don't think he's good.
He's
I think their
no,
other
I
two
don't
backs are
think.
way better.
Oh, Bucky Irving's better. I'm not going to say Sean Tucker's better,
Or
but
not Sean Tucker,
Bucky
but
Irving.
Bucky Irving is way better.
Yeah, that Thompson guy. I wouldn't say that either, but Bucky Irving is definitely better. And it's not that Rashad White's bad. He's just not very good in the running game. Like if he was like a change of pace back, like a Jalen Warren or who's the guy in the Titans? Not Pollard, the guy who always
Oh,
caught the
Spears.
passes for Derrick
Tajay
Henry.
Spears.
Yeah, Tajay Spears. Tony Pollard when Zeke was RB1, even though Pollard's kind of become a pretty nice RB1. But Rashad White would be the best change of pace back in the league because he's so good in the passing game. Is that by design? Not always, but the volume there is pretty much unprecedented. Or not, I shouldn't say unprecedented, but it's not like seen across the league, outside of a couple players like Alvin Kamara or giant Saquon Barkley. Like the Eagles can throw the ball, so that kind of has disappeared from the game. But he'd be perfect in that kind of role there. So him not getting as many carries, I really think helps them diversify their offense. Like they can run the ball. They have good players to throw the ball to. I feel like their line is a little bit healthy. Baker's been playing well. The defense isn't always on the field, so they're playing well. So like I think they're actually becoming a really good team.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I'm a little scared of Tatum.
I don't.
Like the
Yeah, I don't know what
Ravens.
to make of this one. Yeah.
Yeah, the Ravens like starting to look like the Ravens everyone expected, but it's like I feel like the Buccaneers actually being good is kind of the equalizer here. Like I think you hit it pretty well. Like Ravens win, Bucks cover. Like I could see this one being a 3-point game. This
Yeah.
is probably like a square over I'd play too.
Yeah.
I
True.
think this game's gonna be good.
Final Monday night game. We got the Chargers and the Cardinals. Yuck. The Chargers are laying 2, coming off of a 5-point win against the Broncos. The Cardinals are coming off of a big loss against the Packers. I like the Chargers here. I would take the
I like
Chargers
the
-2 here.
Cardinals. It's disgusting.
It's a
But I
Cardinals
like
line.
the
It is a
Cardinals.
Cardinals line for sure. I hate this game. There's nothing about
Yeah.
this game that I have no inclination to want to bet this game.
Nope, but I'm gonna find something. Anything else?
No, I do not want to touch this game. Justin Herbert has
Mm-mm.
been mediocre this year. Kyler Murray has not been very good. Like there's not
Yeah.
I don't even want to watch that game. I don't even
Mm.
I will not watch that
And
game.
don't.
Put it that
And don't.
way. Well, that's our show, folks. That's the NFL
Yeah.
look ahead for week 7. We will be back next week, hopefully in time to preview the Thursday night game. We tend to miss those, but we'll try and get
Oh,
that.
good for you. We didn't.
Yeah, that's true. That is true for everyone else's sanity because we both would have agreed on the Saints. So probably better this time around. We'll be back next week. Make sure to like and subscribe to get all of these and follow us on Twitter. And we are out of here.